episodic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everyone? How we all doing this Saturday night? What a chill Saturday night it is. Beautiful Saturday night. Ready for it? This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night main event. Hangout, live stream, whatever you want to call it. This is the face that runs the podcast place. My name's Proto Man, and this is the voice that you hear Monday to Friday. And now you have to listen to me on your Saturday. If you're Canadian, it's a nice long weekend for Labor Day, for people who know what that is. For my American listeners and around the world, it's just another Saturday and me trying my best to entertain you and educate you. How we all doing? Good to see all the peeps are here today. We got some YouTube members, some Patreon members, 2 Hasbro people, and all my lovely listeners. How we all doing? So we're going to be talking some Transformer news like always. We have this and that. It was a bit of a quiet week. I got some cool stuff that I picked up. Kind of excited to talk about it just because I've been hunting this figure for a couple of days now. I got a cool I want to call it a grail, but something that's important to my collection that also kind of I managed to find one relatively affordably. And it was kind of spawned due to recent events, which I'll get into in a moment. We'll just relax for the rest of the evening, take some super chats from the fans. Once again, if you want to partake in the live stream again, hit that super chat button and throw your words my way. I will read and answer whatever you wish. And if you're one of the YouTube members with the green names with the beautiful icons, have at it. Also, you could go crazy and ask all you want. So let's jump into it, shall we? Shall we? Let's do it. First up, let's talk about an update to that Magnificus. So, we talked about it last week. There was some photography from the Vietnam Hasbro factories of Magnificus, and we only had pretty much those photos on the right over there. Now we have some better photos that show us how the final product looks like. We get a really good shot of the microscope scope itself, really double confirming that it is a purple Decepticon emblem, thus making it not a shattered glass Perceptor, but indeed the e-hobby exclusive from all the way back in 2005 of Magnificus. Now, still not confirmed yet if he's going to come with anything else extra. Looks like he's just going to come with his scope and his gun, and that's about it. I mean, he back in the day, that old e-hobby one came with Jamedo, or Gmade, or whatever you want to call it, Jamade. Probably not going to come with him. I mean, it would be nice if you know, they took some O-ring G.I. Joe character and married them together and did some kind of cool Generations Selects item. But, you know, from what Aaron Archer told me, it's that they're kind of made in 2 separate factories, and it might be a little complicated to do that. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, you know, stranger things have happened, and we've had crossovers with Transformers recently with O-ring stuff. Mind you, that's all done on that side of the Hasbro office, made by those designers. So maybe that's all kept internal. But who knows? Who knows? All I know is this is probably going to be a Generation Select item. Since it's a deluxe class, $24.99 is the best bet. Hey, I'm excited about it. I think the original Studio Series 86 Reflector is a fantastic mold. I think that this is a extremely affordable opportunity for you to own this character, considering that 2005 e-hobby version is ridiculously expensive now. Last I checked, I think it was like $250. The e-hobby 2013 Reveal the Shield repaint, when they took that Land Rover Defender Perceptor that they did a while back, and they turned that into Magnificus and with e-hobby in 2013. Even that one, that goes for like $60, $70 today. And the Super 7 one, well, it doesn't transform, it has limited articulation, just like the arms and the legs and stuff and the head. So, I mean, if you're happy with the Super 7 one, you could get that Micro Change MC20 version for whatever they were asking for during their Black Friday sale. So this is probably going to be the most affordable version that's worth every dime. I'm excited about it. I think it's cool. Black repaints are always awesome. But, I mean, this isn't going to be the only black repaint we're going to talk about today. So it's going to be hype. It's going to be cool. I'm down for it. I really am. Next up, let's talk about some listings that showed up. Let's talk about a continuation of a discussion. So, a while back, we talked about how we saw some listings for a Transformers Legacy 2023 Leader Class Skyquake. We didn't know which Skyquake that was going to be. Could have been any Skyquake. What's up, Aaron? Um, there's so many different ways they could go about it, but the general assumption was that it was probably going to be the Transformers Prime character. Well, now we have another listing that showed up in the Walmart and Target computers, EAN codes, UPC codes, and everything of a Tra-Gen Legacy EV Leader Prime Dreadwing. So this is probably going to pretty much indicate that these two are going to be repaints of each other, that we're going to be seeing both these prime characters that were, I will say, ridiculously tough to get back in the day. The Voyager class Dreadwing was a Wave 3 Transformers Prime character, had very rough distribution, and as a result today goes for about $110, $115. The ARMS Micron version, which is the even better repaint, and at the time was actually the easier one to get because Japan at least didn't have distribution problems. Even that one, $110, $120. And then the Skyquake, which came out in Wave 5, oh, that thing barely hit retail. And that thing goes for 150 to 200 bucks today. So the fact that we're getting some kind of revisit of these Transformer Prime characters, I'm excited. This gives people an opportunity to own those characters and not have to break the bank. There'll be leader class, and the modern day leader class is pretty much what the old school Voyagers were. So it won't be too odd in your display if you take these leader classes and put it in your Transformer Prime display. I dig it. I dig it. And again, like he had really bad distribution, and like on the bottom there, those are the legend scale ones, which were probably what more people had, if anything. They had more of the legend scale of Skyquake and Dreadwing than they did those Voyagers. And then in the middle there is the bot shots version of Skyquake, which probably was the easiest one to get. Not easy characters to pretty much get in your collection without breaking the bank in some shape or form. So we will see what happens with that. But I mean, chances are the fact that there's two leader classes, they both share, one of them is confirmed to be Prime Dreadwing. The other one is called Skyquake, probably going to be a repaint and shared with this mold, maybe a slight retool, maybe a new weapon or something. But this is exciting, very good stuff. And again, for people who weren't able to get those characters, another opportunity. The only negative that I could think of is historically what we've seen with Legacy thus far and how they've G1ified, I guess we'll use the term. I think I've seen people say that, G1ified the Prime designs and kind of take away the unique aesthetic that Transformer Prime designs have and now give them a kind of overall aesthetic for the entire line, which is bizarre because that doesn't seem to affect the Beast Wars characters, which are slavishly loyal to their animation models. But regardless of the fact, I just find that a little bizarre. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, these guys are coming. Chances are, if they are indeed the leader class that they are listed at, that's going to be a $55.99 MSRP. But again, compared to what the secondary market is asking for those original Prime toys, it's definitely the cheaper alternative. That's for sure. That is faux show. Next up, we have some stuff that showed up in Malaysia in Toys R Us, and this is very exciting. Some Beast Wars. This is the flavor of the live stream tonight. The rock out with your croc out. We have a Transformers Classic Heroes team, Croc Megatron, which is, I don't know who's working for the Classics Heroes team or the Rescue Bots or that more younger division of Transformer designers, but clearly someone is having a good time and finally giving Megatron his due to go back to his original, his first Beast Wars design, the Croc Megatron, or as Japan called him, Mega Alligator. So, or Megaligator, depending on how you wanted to pronounce it. This was an MSRP of $10.97. simple transformation, about 4 inches tall. These are pretty much almost auto transform. But then again, so was the original. And the original was also, the original was like about 3.5 inches tall. But I mean, I'm excited about this old school Beast Wars throwback to the old Croc Megatron. The last time we had something like that, even acknowledging its existence, was the Legends LG. I think it was 23 LG 23 Megatron G2 Megatron, which came with a little Titan's Return head that turned into Croc Megatron. At least his head did, and it was, I think they were trying to plant the seeds for a 2-pack that would have been done with the Convoy Bat, which was an eHobby exclusive in 2016, which was a retool of the Titan's Return Mind Wipe into Convoy Bat. I know I'm talking too much, but yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's really cool. I dig it. Um, and I mean, now we have something that could join the Beast Wars Optimus Primal Transformers Classic Heroes team, Gorilla Optimus Primal. Maybe they'll do a bat one. Maybe they'll do a bat one. Maybe if this is, publicly received well, they'll do the Bat Optimus also, and that would be great also. That would be so cool. That'd be so cool. I mean, if we can't get these guys in some kind of legacy form or anything like that, I'm totally cool with it being here also. I dig it. These are very affordable. These are fun. And not all Transformer toys have to be crazy. Sometimes they could be nice little blocky fun figures that could be desk formers or something. I dig it. And I mean, when you look at here, I brought them up here. The original one, the original one was also a quick flip changer from back in the day. It was just boom. And, he had a little gun. I like to leave the gun attached, which was his tail. I like to leave it on because it's kind of cool. You have it like that, like a little big cannon there, as opposed to taking it off and it being his thing. But yeah, it was a cool little design. And I just love that they made an effort to kind of have that, the Croc, the front of the Croc face makes the chest. So they maintain that. The very G1 kind of flavored Megatron head, because at the time it's still what that was supposed to be, the next incarnation of G1 Megatron. I mean, I dig it. I think it's great. I'm super excited. I'm a Beast Wars simp, so it doesn't matter. It's I love Beast Wars to death. So any new Beast Wars stuff in some shape or form, uh, sign me up. And I mean, look, this shows more than anything. Once again, and I feel like a broken telephone, but this tells me more and more that the summer of 2022 was supposed to be the summer of Beast Wars, and that movie being delayed just knocked off everything. And I really hope that when Rise of the Beast comes out in 2023, that there still is a good presence of Beast Wars product to make that transition, not for us as fans, but for the fans that'll either be returning or the fans that are going to be coming back for the first time in 25 years, those Beast Wars fans back in the 90s that, left the brand for whatever reason, Pokemon, Digimon, video games, and went on and became fans of other franchises or just grew up. And now they'll see that Rise of the Beast movie next year. They'll want to engage with the brand more. And there'll be other supplemental products like this Crocodile Megatron that will remind them of 1995, 1996. And then there'll be more purchases. And like I always say, when you give them their cigarette, they're hooked now. So let's hope that that's the case. Next up, let's talk about Shattered Glass and how Proto Man was a little disappointed. Hasbro promised every month that we would have a Shattered Glass reveal, and they did it like clockwork, and every month we did have a Shattered Glass reveal. I literally waited into the final hours of August 31st, hoping that we would get our last reveal for Shattered Glass, which, according to the listings that we saw online, Tra, Gen, SG, Voyager, Soundwave, 6 per case. We were hopefully going to see our Shattered Glass Soundwave for the first time and know what mold they decided to go with. And August 31st turned into September 1st, and we still have nothing. So Hasbro did not do it. Maybe they're saving it as a big reveal for their PulseCon next month, which is oddly this month at the end of the month. So I don't know. Maybe they're saving it for a Transformer Tuesday to just make September be a little more exciting and interesting. We will see what happens. But either way, it is what it is. We will see. But we have here a comic book cover. Now, this is the retailer incentive cover on the left. This cover was drawn by Hasbro's own Mark Mayer. Mark Mayer did the retailer incentive cover. And this cover, because it was drawn by Mark, and I go into it deeper in the individual segments on the podcast if you want to go back and take a look. I'm not going to cover too much, but Mark's the guy who worked on the toy itself. He would know better than any artist that was hired to do any kind of art, which mold this was using it and what it was intended to be. And we're kind of getting a mixture of both here. I mean, the detailing, the surface detail, I'm seeing a little bit of column A and column B. Column A on the left there being the Siege sound wave, column B on the right there being the Netflix Earthrise-ish sound wave, we'll call it that. Could be a mixture of the two. Could be he's just trolling, and that's why he mixed the two. Could be something else completely. Could be a brand new retool. Who knows? It's Soundwave. He'll always sell well. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But it is interesting. It is interesting that we still don't know yet. And this is probably going to be the most exciting one of the bunch in a lot of ways. We got a super chat here from William for $5. Thank you, William, for the super chat. Been watching since I was 9. I have a job now. Thanks for teaching me and others about finance and keeping us in the know. Well, thank you, William. I hope you don't mean you've been watching since 9, my podcast, which actually, we started in 2009. So I guess there's some people that could be now having their first jobs and stuff. Unless you're referring to Beast Wars, which would be a lot more of a respectable thing to be watching since 9 than me. But hey, I'm glad that you're learning on the toy collecting game and how to save money. Let me tell you something, guys. I just want to take a moment for what William said. Look, all this stuff behind me, I bought a lot of this stuff while I was working at Burger King. Okay. Don't work at Burger King anymore. I'm a mechanic now. I make good money. But the point is that back in the day, all of this was garage sales, flea markets, and eBay from whatever I could scrounge from working at Burger King. It really was that, and I was able to pull that off because I was smart with the money. I wasn't just running out and buying stuff brand new. There's always sales. That's why I always tell people to join the Patreon. If you join I don't want to plug the Patreon, but I have to. If you join the Patreon, you get access to the Discord. If you get access to the Discord, we have a whole section just dedicated to, hey, this is on sale right now. Hey, this is on sale right now. Hey, save money here, save money there. Don't pay full price here. There's always opportunities. I went to do grocery shopping today. I went to Walmart today. It's actually related to one of the items that I picked up today. And I saw how Walmart is liquidating everything to get ready for the holiday season. And of course, Black Friday and stuff. And it's absolutely crazy how I'm seeing stickers originally $14, now, $6. And it tells you how much retailers, how low they could go with their products and how we overpay for so much in a world today where sometimes we're not all financially fit. I lose patrons because they tell me they can't afford $3 a month. And I tell them that's cool, man, because I know how even $3 is a lot for some people today. I get it. And I want them to be more on their feet than just sending me $3. I rather they be okay. And it's a tough world we live in. So it's always important to understand your finance. I mean, it kills me when I see people that, they can't be homeowners, they can't be car owners because of how the financial world is right now. And you got to be smart with it. This is an expensive hobby. This is a luxury hobby. It is. And it's something that, because it's a luxury hobby, you got to be smart with your money, because way often than not, I see guys that buy a lot of product and then they put themselves in a bit of a financial situation. They have to get rid of it. And it sucks because I assume that when they bought this stuff that they loved it and they enjoyed it, and it should suck to see someone having to part with something that they love and enjoy. So again, William, I'm glad that you're paying attention to finance, because that's the most important thing when it comes to this hobby, because way too many people go broke enjoying the plastic crack. There's a lot more worse hobbies you could have, let me tell you. There's a lot more worse hobbies you could have for your wallet. But again, I'm glad to hear that. And again, you got your first job, be smart with your money, save your money, man. Let me tell you, don't just get your paycheck and blow it, because I learned that very quickly my first few months of having my first full-time job. I remember my very first full-time job, I worked at telemarketing because, I mean, it's one of the easiest jobs to do. I got a $300 check, which is back in the day was a lot of money, shows how old I am. And I went out and I went on eBay. This was like year 1998, 99, and bought Star Saber, which you could barely see. There's Star Saber. That exact Star Saber right there that's being covered here was bought when I was in high school. And it was, again, my first job. But I used to blow my paychecks. And then I learned later on, no, save some of that money, be smart with it. Be smart with it, people. Be smart with it. But yeah, sorry to go on that rant. But again, thank you, William, for the super chat, and everything like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Larry's here too. Oh, Larry's here also. I didn't see him come in. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we'll get an announcement at some point. I get a feeling probably the way that they do these shattered glass reveals, because they drop them with a pre-order on Hasbro Pulse's website, we're probably going to get a Transformer Tuesday between now and PulseCon. They'll do something. They'll do some kind of, Transformer Tuesday. Just, hey guys, here's this exclusive. Get hyped. And oh, by the way, PulseCon is at the end of the month. That's what I think is probably going to go down. We will see. We will see. Next up, we have this interesting one here. Another black repaint. Let's talk about MPM 12B. I guess we'll call it, they're calling it Black Optimus Prime. It's a black convoy. This image here, it's a little blurry. These are Japanese retailer distribution order form images. These are sent out to Japanese distributors for toys in Japan, and these are pretty much to let them know, hey, a pre-order is going to be going up soon. Are you interested in this product? Let us know, and we will send you the appropriate images and stock images for your websites and or businesses. And so these images were sent out. And now we have a look, at least at a no surprise at all, a MPM 12 Bumblebee movie Optimus repainted in black. Every single Optimus mold. Look, every single Optimus mold. Obviously, there's some exceptions to the rule of some small weird stuff, but if it's a half decent Optimus Prime mold, it's going to get a black repaint. It's just the way it is. Black repaints sell. They do well. Optimus Prime toys sell. They do well. Black Optimus Prime repaint, it's going to do just fine. Every single Masterpiece Optimus of every single price point, $100, $200, $250, had a black repaint. They sold. They do well. So it's another black convoy. It's another black Optimus. It's another Nemesis Prime. It's another Scourge. Whatever you want to call them, whatever your trademark is, your fancy, it's another one. How much is this going to cost? I don't know. This might be a Japanese only kind of thing, so the MSRP might be a little different. The original one that came out in 2001 came with both an ion blaster and a matrix of leadership in his chest. So chances are they'll probably have those same accessories and nothing else. Might be a straight up redeco. The pre-orders for this, according to, if you could barely see it there, September 8th, 2022 is when the pre-orders are going to be hitting. Keep in mind that's Japan time, so they're a day ahead of us. So it'll be more like September 7.5 for us, pretty much, during the evening. These pre-orders will go live, and we'll get some better images and information on how much this will cost. But I'm going to predict probably whatever the MSRP was for the original MPM 12 Bumblebee movie Optimus. And keep in mind, like, Bumblebee movie only had two masterpieces. It had the original Volkswagen and it had the Optimus. So this is technically a third, masterpiece related to that movie. But it's a character that wasn't in it, just a black repaint. Again, it is what it is, but hey, it's Masterpiece. People dig Masterpiece, and that's kind of cool. No? Last thing we're going to talk about, it's a weird one, but it's also me trying to vie for something. Let's talk about And a Seat premium gaming chairs. So this is a company that makes premium gaming chairs, and they're making some Transformer ones. They're doing an Optimus Prime, a Megatron, and a Bumblebee, all done in the evergreen G1 style. They have inserts that could be used for your lower lumbar and your headrest. On the back of them, we'll have either the corresponding Autobot and or Decepticon logo, depending on your choice of character. And they're going to be $399. So I'm telling you this, and the seats. I got this garbage here from Costco, okay? This is crap. And hey, I have a great podcast. I do a live stream. You want how tall is it going to be? You have your logo there in the background, and the seats. Send me a chair. Send me a nice chair so I don't have this ugly blue chair. I wanted a red one. Costco didn't have a red one. So, hey Anda, send me a seat, and we'll have you technically sponsored in perpetuity if your name's going to be in the background there. So, but yeah, and a seat, premium gaming chair for 400 bones. Get Optimus on your back, Jack. That's all I'm going to say. And that is that for the news, more or less. Um, so we'll talk about some stuff that I got in the mail. We'll talk about some stuff that I picked up today. Um, and we'll do our little sponsors. So first we'll do our sponsors. We have, of course, Symbiote Studios. The plush. Oh, Unicron's hiding on the back. Let me just turn it a little bit. Yeah, there he is. Camera's kind of hard to move. We got the plush. We got the pins. We got the t-shirts. We're in the Catnip Bravo convoy today. And of course, the awesome pin sets. We got them all here. We're going to be revealing, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be revealing Wave 5 very soon. We will have the world exclusive on that one. So be sure to tune in when we do that on the Saturday night live stream. But right now they have the Seekers, they got Shockwave. I know that some stuff is starting to sell out. So go check out symbiotestudios.com and pick stuff up, because if it sells out and it's retired, that is that. It is going to be tough. They make a lot of these, but there's also a lot of people buying them. Um, when I was at TFCon, I saw at least 3 different people that kind of had them on their backpacks. So they're very, very popular. So go check them out, symbiotestudios.com, and of course their other Hasbro related brands, like of course G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, and Magic the Gathering. Get that Snake Eyes tee. Have little Timber on the corner there. Looks really cute. I got them all. They look great. And of course, they have their brand new Dragon Zord that was just released. I don't know if they have it, how many they have left of that one. That one's selling ridiculously well too. Makes me wonder. I wonder who they're going to want to do next. Maybe Titanus. That'd be kind of cool. Do Titanus in plush form. And of course, the G.I. Joe pins, Cobra and G.I. Joe emblems. Looks really good. SymbioteStudios.com. Check in the pin description in the replay of this video if you don't know how to type Symbiote Studios. And of course, more importantly, the good news, we have a new episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer that went live just last night. So this episode that we posted is a good hour and 20 minutes talking about specific Transformers Armada toys and really dissecting them and going deep into how they were designed, how they were rolled out, how they were planned, engineered, and ultimately in the end, how they were received. How well were they received? Were these good? Were these bad? What could be done differently? Now that hindsight is 2020, because let me tell you, some figures obviously were not made equal. They were designed in different departments. They were designed by different people. So you have different results. And of course, what's really interesting, more than anything else, is we talk about the Beast Wars Transmetals that were included in this line and how they potentially will be affecting the future of Beast Wars Transmetals being reissues in the modern Beast Wars reissue line. So keep that in mind too. Go check it out, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Throw that in your Google machine. Throw it in your YouTube search algorithm. It's a separate channel. Be sure to subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. It's a great channel. If you want to hear my voice for more hours, somehow if you want to do that to yourself, and you want to hear Aaron's sultry voice as he talks about the history of Transformers. I'm getting a sip of water here. I am thirsty. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Check it out, yo. Brand new episode. And more to come. So, what did we get this week? Just a few things. Nothing too spectacular, but first one that I'm really excited about, I finally found there we go, Classic Heroes Team Optimus Primal. I finally found it in retail. And I'm super hyped. The second I saw him, I was like, I gotta buy it. I was like hunting for him. It's funny. You go to Walmart, and there's the Velocitron stuff and all the other things, and here's me going like, I need to leave with this. I got to leave with this guy. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh my god. Nice little flip changer. Quick little mini Optimus Primal. Really cool. And again, here I'll show you how they scale with the Megatron. There's a little Megatron. So it's a nice little beefy figure. These are really fun. Again, MSRP, I believe, was for the States is 1097 at Walmart. Great little figure. Now I got to find the Megatron. I haven't seen the Megatron yet. It's Canada. It's probably going to be a little late. Hopefully it'll be in retail at some point. But at least I found the Optimus. I love the box art too. I just want to just show that. Look at the box art on this. Isn't that great? Nice box art. He's so happy. He is so happy. That is great. Fantastic. That's going in the old Beast Wars display. Well, actually, more the Rescue Bot Beast Wars display, because they're probably going to be making more characters. But that's awesome. And then I got something that I was kind of, no joke. I've been eyeing it for about 5-6 years now, maybe even more than that. People know that, might as well, like, I love Nitro Convoy. One of my favorite characters in Transformers, definitely in my top 3. Hot Rod will always be number 1, and I try to collect every piece of merchandise related to that character, even bootlegs, even weird merchandise, trading cards. And this is the Japanese version of the Galaxy Force Nitro Convoy box. And at some point, Sonokong was the distributor for Takara, and they made a Korean version. And the Korean version, I've been hunting for years, and I finally got it. So let me just show first, just to show you the difference here. So here is the Japanese one, and the Korean ones always have the way bigger box. So here's the Korean one. Okay. Now, what's different about the Korean one? The paint is slightly different on it. There's slightly different deco changes. And it also comes with a lenticular trading card, which is really cool, that transforms like that. The original didn't come with that, just came with a normal trading card. But otherwise, it's, just a Korean version of the Galaxy Force packaging. I've been trying to track this down affordably for years. Every time I would see it on eBay, they were asking like 160, 170, because again, it was like a Korean exclusive, even though like loose Nitro Convoys and loose overrides go for nothing. And I believe even this version here, I mean, you could probably get it for like 60, 70 bucks. It's not exactly a rare in-demand item. And I'm pretty sure with the release of this one, the demand for the originals is going to go down even more. Because it's not exactly, a super awesome toy compared to the new one. But I finally found the Korean version, so I'm so happy I was able to pick that up affordably through a source. So pretty awesome. That was a big hype one for me, to get a mint in box Korean version. And I think that's about it. Everything else was just like non-TF related. Got some trading card stuff, and that's really about it. Nothing much else, but just those two. I was really excited about those, to pick those up. And that was that. So we'll open it up to super chats. How much time we got left? We got about an hour and 15 left. So we'll take some super chats from the fans. We'll read some YouTube member questions, and we will just enjoy the rest of the evening. And we have one already. Where's Michael Koo? Michael Koo, the part about Beast Wars Transmetals was interesting to me. Yeah, again, might as well pull up the slide again. Look, me and Aaron, we were just going to be talking about Transformers Armada, and then the conversation came when we were talking about Wheeljack, and how, like, hey, like sometimes when something's sculpted into the toy, that's kind of hard to take out afterwards. You got to bring someone in there and do all of that. And, then it came to the conversation of those Beast Wars guys. And I'm telling you, I want to do a separate segment about it this week, just to kind of like talk about it, because it's a very important discussion. Because Hasbro right now is really liking that Beast Wars reissue line. Clearly people are buying it. Somebody is. So they're now we have, what's next? We're going to have Retrax and Pterosaur. Wolfang is starting to show up. K9 is starting to show up. Iguanus. There's a lot of these characters are getting reissued. At some point, We're going to get the Transmetals. Maybe by next year for Rise of the Beasts, we're going to get the Transmetals. But those Transmetals are going to have some lingering after effects of the Unicron trilogy with Armada. So that's something that we're going to revisit this topic during the week. We're going to jump into it and really break it down and explain what's going on. But if you want to kind of get a really good piece of that, sorry, I'm a little nasally today, allergies. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Be sure to check that. Again, guys, if you're not subscribed, if you guys are subscribed to this channel, go subscribe to the other one. It's like extra content from this podcast over there, but with someone from Hasbro, not this dumb face, but with someone from Hasbro. So check it out, yo. Michael Koo with the super chat for 5 bones wants to know, SG Ultra Magnus includes a matrix. Is that supposed to be the origin matrix? Well, you know what? When you look at it, it's like it's Shatterglass Ultra Magnus, but it's also double dutying as Diaclone Ultra Magnus, aka Powered Convoy. So I'm going to assume it could be the Matrix of Origin, could be the Reconfigure Matrix. I know you're kind of leaning on that G2E hobby kind of flavor for Ultra Magnus, but it is Shattered Glass. And, when you look at the sculpt for the original Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, which was they used the laser Optimus Prime, I think was it Reveal the Shield? It was one of the classics generations. It had that sculpted matrix on the chest too, so I think it's trying to also continue that flavor. Maybe it's also related to the comics. Spoiler. So that's a whole other story. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. I don't want to go too deep into that because there is some comics that need to be read. Of Shattered Glass 2 by IDW. Lizard Sphere X, I enjoyed the first BotCon last week. Checked off a lot of names on my list, but the big kahuna was getting to complete Loose Energon Wing Saber for 100. Only downside is now I want green light. Well, Wing Saber was one of those late Energon toys that went for pretty decent money. Also because I call it Magic Mushroom Syndrome, which is he's one of those characters that upgrades your Optimuses. And that's where like a Jetfire or an Overload for Armada have value, or the Wing Saber, for Galaxy Force, and of course, Wing Saber, Sonic Bomber, as he was called in Japan, and Liger Jack, aka Leo Breaker. So, hey, Wing Saber was a tough one. A lot of those late red packaging Energon figures, Quick Strike, Kicker, Alpha Q. I'm trying to remember some others. I'm gonna look here. Who else was a really tough one? That was also in the red packaging. I think there was Tread Shot or whatever. There was another one too that was really tough. But yeah, that's a tough one though. Green light. That's gonna be a pricey one. But they'll revisit that character. So if you want that specific green light, wait a couple years, see if a new green light comes out. They repaint something, and then that value will go down. The crazy name, once again, Anti de Quesera. Thank you again, Anti de Quesera, with being a YouTube member. When I saw the Pulver Claw and the Kingdom poster, I was expecting more animals, like back when Beast Wars first appeared. I need more animals. I need a new mammoth and a mammoth. I think you mean mammoth and new gorilla transformer. Probably we'll get a big convoy at some point, so we'll get a mammoth, giraffe. That's Long Rack from Beast Wars Neo. Amazingly, Hasbro had Long Rack back in 2006 as a trademark, and they just kind of let it lapse. I think they were kind of hoping at some point maybe to do something with that name, but who knows? They could revisit it one day, reapply that trademark, go to the trademark office, and hey guys, let's dust off the old one that probably expired in like 2010 or something. But yeah, I mean, look, I love Polar Claw. Polar Claw is, one of those, there's a short list of like really, really good Beast Wars non-show character toys, and Polar Claw is definitely on that list. And his repaint Barbarian, aka what was it called there? It was Barbarian, and then they called him Grizzly 1 was the other one. And Survive was his Japanese version with the red painted face. Good stuff. Tolbert with the $5 super chat wants to know, and thank you, Aiden. Protoform X, Omega Prime, Vector Prime, sorry, and Beast Wars Megatron. Barney Rubber Ducky needs to come. Also, Beast Machines needs a reboot and redesign. Well, you know what? Beast Machines is one of those things, and I talked about it before in my individual segment last week. That's one that Hasbro has muscle memory of and goes, Beast Machines didn't do well financially for them. And then when they would do Beast Machines characters, those would not do financially well in the modern era. Tankor was one of the very last ones in retail. Obviously, Alpha Strike and Cyberverse, and there's some exceptions to that rule. But, Tankor was one of the really last true Beast Machines toys that was in the Generations line, and he sold terrible. I remember him clogging the shelves at one point, and I'm not the only one. I know there was a lot of reports of that. And it's a fine toy. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a fantastic Tankor, probably the best Tankor toy that's ever existed based on that Beast Machines character. But Hasbro remembers. They go, oof, if we're gonna do Beast Machine stuff, we got to do do one at a time and see what happens. Like we got T-Rex. That's a repaint of Megatron. That's already paid for in its tooling from a previous mold, so they could do that. If maybe they'll take leader class Dragon Megatron and do the whole Beast Machine's headgear and the armor and stuff. Maybe that's a crazy leader class to do, but that is something that they could do if they want to. But we'll see. We got another one from Roman says, "Hey Proto, is there a chance that we might see Bruticus or Defensor? We just got a Menasor." I was saying that chances are, if we did get another combiner in the future from Hasbro, and again, if they're going to continue the same trend and the centerpiece is a commander class, then that implies that we're only going to get one combiner a year, unless they bump up how many commander classes they do a year. I'm thinking probably aerial bots. I would like Defensor. I think Defensor is the more unique of the bunch, has a lot more diversity in the individuals. I think it has to be an Autobot though. I don't want to. I don't want to think that they're going to go to a Decepticon again, Devastator or Bruticus. I think they're going to go Autobot, and I think they're going to go aerial bots just to put out all those jets and just mix it up for a bit. That's just my take. But also keep in mind, there's that MPG line which Kojin Ono in an interview said that line could be used for a lot of different things, and maybe we might see another combiner through there at some point. That's another thing to keep in mind too. We got a super chat for 5 bones from Eastman777. Thank you, Eastman777. eHobby Astro Train just sold for $870 with 33 bids. My goodness. Will Takara or Hasbro be working with eHobby again? Maybe for a 40th anniversary coming up. They still do stuff together. eHobby right now is just they still have a licensed contract with Takara. eHobby's just right now putting out trading cards of Transformers. They once in a while they do like a one-shot item or something like that. But right now, like the latest eHobby item, if you want to be honest, is they're doing these trading card sets and a trading card book based off of actually a whole bunch of different Transformers throughout the years. So the relationship still exists to this very day. And yeah, there'll probably be another item in the future. It's just that the co-development today, right now, with Hasbro and Takara is really tight. It's very rare that there's items that are released in one region that are not released in the other. Even the masterpieces, they create opportunities through Hasbro Pulse for people to pick them up that are supposed to be Japanese exclusives. So eHobby kind of, yeah, you have the premium finish line that kind of is, Takara exclusive and stuff. But eHobby really is also falls into that where it's like they'd have to work something out with Hasbro Pulse where they could be eHobby exclusives and they could still be available on Hasbro Pulse in limited numbers. So we'll see. We will see, but I would love it because eHobby created a lot of great iconic characters, a lot of great ideas, and they're just unique. They're a unique company that's very creative, and hopefully we'll see more of it. Man, eHobby Astro Train going for $870. That is way too much money for a modern repaint of a G1 figure that really isn't that rare. Geez, $870. You could buy so many different Japanese 80s like practically if you had $870, almost any Master Force figure you could pick up. Almost any Victory figure you could pick up. Any single Headmasters figure. A Zone, you could get any Zone figure. You could probably get a mint in box Diatlas for like $400 to $500. Jeez, that is way too much. That's two that like if there was 33 bids, that was probably two guys fighting and refusing to lose, if anything. They really wanted that weird colored Astro Train. Let's put it that way. That's crazy. We got a gold super chat from T Formers 2002. Thank you for the gold super chat, T Formers 2002. And he wants to know, so not to spoil the 30 plus show, I was wondering, what is your opinion towards Buster and Hydra's story near the end of Master Force? I personally think it's one of the best storylines I've ever seen. I've always said, and I've said this many times on the live stream, on the podcast, my top three favorite Transformer series of all time is Beast Wars, Master Force, and then there's like this battle between animated and Galaxy Force that kind of fight. Sometimes I'm in an animated mood, sometimes I'm in a Galaxy Force mood. Galaxy Force still kind of wins it out. Obviously I love G1. Don't get me, and I'm just because they don't make my top three doesn't mean those other series are bad. I'm just saying those are like my three, you know, humble pie. I love them, and Master Force is amazing. Um, there's a lot of people that have never watched it. They think it's weird because it has a lot of a human element to it, or because it's a lot of old toys that they're not familiar with, and because it's pretenders. And go watch Master Force. Buster and Hydra are two unique characters with unique origins. Literally, the namesake of one of my best buddies in the Transformer fandom who lives in Japan, Hydra, took his name from that character because he loved that character so much in Japan. Uh, just awesome. Just awesome. I don't want, there's still people who haven't seen it. That's why I'm so hesitant to talk about it. So many cool battles, the battle on the moon with Black Zarek and God Jinrai, so many cool iconic scenes. Choke gun power. It's like Dragon Ball, charging attacks, throwing beams. Such a great Transformer series. It's in a lot of ways, it's what Transformers was to the brand as G Gundam was to Gundam, where Transformers was still kind of grounded a little bit, and then here comes Master Force, which was a little more battle shonen, I guess is the best way to put it. But in a lot of ways too, it created the prototype for what would be Victory, and then afterwards Zone, and then what we done with the Unicron trilogy, that kind of writing style, that mecha robot writing style, and of course what Yusha would do for years, all started with Master Force. Fantastic series. Go watch it. Find it on YouTube. Watch it subtitled. Don't watch it subtitled through Shout Factory though. Shout Factory made a terrible official box set that had terrible subtitles that missed the point. Just go on the internet and find it through TV Nihon, TV Nihon. They did some great subtitles with Lone Gamer, Hydra, this guy right here. It was done right. Let's put it this way. The conveyance of the intent of the authorial creation was done proper through that. We got a question from Lizard Sphere X. Hope they do a redo for the aerial bots. They could turn into armor for either Metroplex. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, if they keep that Scramble City elements with Metroplex, that'd be really awesome. Probably won't, but that would be cool though. To have that Scramble City element. For people that aren't aware, like the original Metroplex had little ports where you could attach the peg-headed Scramble City members of the combiners of that era, because he was part of Scramble City. He was technically Scramble City. Sarah, again, I'm saying Sierra. I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to go for the whole name with the question. If we see a Studio Series 86 Megatron, what can we expect of a tank, a non-official mode? Just like the Shockwave was a spaceship. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again. We're going to get something like this, we're going to get picture what we got with Earthrise, which Earthrise had a really nice, I don't have the Earthrise figure. It's over there in the display right now, but picture the Earthrise figure. Really good robot mode, that robot mode really invokes that old animation model of Generation 1, but transforms into a tank. And because it transforms into a tank, it can exist. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna revisit Megatron, figure out a way to make a robot mode that's super slim, that
Megatron must be
conveys
stopped,
that
no matter
element
the
of,
cost.
the G1 Megatron designed by Fleur Deary that's streamlined and looks really nice. Maybe they'll even put the little, the buster on the little cannon on his hip and everything. They might even sculpt a little trigger on the inside of his leg to kind of still convey the old gun, but he'll still turn into a tank. Or something similar to it, because they just can't. They just can't. They can't. Back in the day, they did, and this is when Aaron Archer was still working with them. They did a little G1 Megatron that turned into a gun, and they still had to put a yellow tip on the end of it. And then, like, a year later, these gun shows were releasing guns that were tiny that could shoot, and it was just like they can't. They just can't. It's too difficult. You could try to make, oh, this is submarine mode and it's upside down, and yeah, now it's submarine mode. It's okay. They can't, because the second someone is able to turn that thing around and run around outside and it's a gun, with already the drama that exists in the world with shootings and everything going on, do we really want to go down that route? And I understand it's a Canadian talking about it, and what should he know about gun control and talking about that? I get it. You guys have a history with that. It's in your constitution. It's part of your history. Back when when you talk about the United States back in the day and survival on the land as a new people moving to a foreign land, guns were important to it. I get that. I get all of that. I've had these conversations at BotCons back in the day. Remember those conversations? But you just can't pull that off. You can't in the toy aisle. You just can't. You can't. It's not going to happen. Cringe McCringle with the $5 super chat. Hey, Proto, just finished the newest Toy Armada episode. Thank you. Really enjoyed it. Will you and Aaron ever cover anything super obscure like RPMs? Well, it really has to do with what people would want to listen to, because we kind of don't want to do too much Transformers. We want to do a Transformer segment, a non-Transformer segment, Batman or Metabots or Beyblade or whatever. We always have those discussions. What should we talk about next? What would be fun to talk about? Um, but sooner or later, we're gonna find ourselves in some of that weird stuff too. Sooner or later, we're gonna have to talk about, doing die cast for Transformers, and why did they do RPM, and what was the intent behind it. You know, Sooner or later, all of those discussions will come up. What I always tell people is, even if it's a segment that you don't think will be interesting to you because of the topic in the title, still watch it, because we talk about other stuff. Look, in a Armada discussion, we ended up talking about Beast Wars and its reissue line. When we talked about Batman, we still ended up talking about Transformers, Gargoyles, Men in Black, Beast Wars was even mentioned, the Marvel movies. Like these, the toy world is a web, and especially the toy design world. And when you have individuals that have worked in all those different worlds, one topic always kind of leads to the understanding of the others. So it might be a segment about Star Wars. You might not like Star Wars, but when you listen to that segment, there's going to be pieces about Beast Wars, pieces about this, pieces about that lead to a bigger picture. So I'm sure RPMs will come up at some point. I'm pretty sure it will. And that conversation will come up. Mikey has become a Minicon member. Welcome, Mikey, to the Minicon YouTube membership. Been talking a lot about Minicons over the past couple of days, especially if you saw my Twitter post and Instagram recently. Mikey says here, in the Toy Armada show today, you talked a bit about unproduced Transtech toys after Beast Wars. You think one day we might actually get those designs? We kind of get them. If you look at some of those old Transtech designs, like you look at the evolution of the, I think it was called the or what was it called? The Immortalcon or Mordicon, mixed with the Megatron design, kind of became what is Armada Megatron. You look at Cheetor's design, it kind of was used with the animated Blur and then later on animated Cheetor. There's kind of, they seep their way in there through Drexel Studios, which was the ones who did most of those old designs. Who knows? Who knows? In a world where things get boring, and things get played out, it's always fun to kind of go to the well and pick those weird unreleased designs. Characters that never got toys ended up getting toys. Weird designs ended up getting toys. I look at Star Wars. Star Wars did a whole line of figures based off of concept designs of Star Wars, like the Luke Star Killer and the Darth Vader and the prototype colored Boba Fett. Those all got action figures. So it wouldn't surprise me if that big buff Optimus Prime Transtech gets a figure at some point. That would be cool. That would be really cool. I know I would be down for it because Transtech, in the grand scheme of storytelling, was the sequel to Beast Wars Beast Machines. So I would totally be down for something like that. Obviously, Fun Publication, they had their own way of how they did Transtech and it being like a central hub universe and stuff. But I would like to see like a spiritual successor of what Transtech would have been in the continuation of that story. That would have been great. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows what the future brings? There's always going to be a quiet time for the Transformers brand, and that's when you're going to zig when you should actually expect a zag. So they'll do something unique because that's when they could take a risk. Um, she went on to say, "I actually wish they got an actual show. I bet it would have been good." Well, if it would have been done by Mainframe, I do agree. It probably would have been amazing if they would have kept that relationship with Mainframe Entertainment and continued on. I think, with that Ocean Group voice acting crew of Scott McNeil and Gary Chalk and David Kay and Venus and, Pauline Newstone. And I know I'm forgetting a bunch. Don Brown. And did I mention Scott McNeil? All those great people, you know, all those great individuals, those talented people. Richard Newman. I know I'm forgetting more. I apologize. Ian Corlett. How could I forget Cheetor? But yeah, it would have been amazing. Would have been absolutely amazing. But I mean, Mainframe, the reason why they actually kind of cut bait and went away was because Mattel kind of came to them and made them an offer they couldn't refuse, which was a 10-year contract doing Barbie movies. And when you're a smaller Canadian-based studio, and you could turn to all your employees and go, "Hey, we're going to be employed for 10 years straight, doing made-for-DVD Barbie movies," you're going to do it, you know, at the end of the day. Um, where are we at here? Where are we at? Sorry if I got lost. Sarah says, the first time that I expect you guys to steal figures for YouTube, steal a Legacy Dragon Megatron. They don't steal it. What happened? Is it because it's a humongous figure? Are you talking about the people who steal stuff? It's just what those guys could get stolen from the factory. They have to pay an individual to go in there and steal it. And security is not exactly A1 over there in those Vietnam factories. So I don't know. I don't condone. I don't support the stealing of toys. I think the individuals who do those reviews are some of the worst that the fandom has to offer. Let's put it that way. Past and present, I'll say that. They use it to make a lot of money off of the backs of others. That's all I will say about that and those losers. Michael Koo, do you think we will see any legacy evolution announcement from PulseCon? I think probably PulseCon should focus on giving us some Rise of the Beast stuff and some Earthrise stuff. Look, Legacy is great. I love everything Legacy's doing, but we need to focus on media brand related Transformer lines because we've been in the dark on both Earthspark and Rise of the Beast. I mean, we got some good Earthspark stuff recently. We got to see some trailers, we got to see some toys, but they need to double down on that, show us more product, get us excited for that. And the same thing, Rise of the Beast. That's going to be our big movie next year. That's going to be all over the world. That's going to have tons of products. It's going to have 2 different lines, Studio Series Rise of the Beast and an actual Rise of the Beast, line itself. It's going to be on t-shirts. It's going to be on, backpacks. It's going to be on, posters. It's going to be everywhere. They need to start talking about it. They really, really do need to start talking about it. There's actually going to be a licensing show in Europe uh, mid-September where we might actually see some Rise of the Beast stuff there too. So we will see what happens with that. But that's what I think they should show more than anything. Yeah, they're going to show some legacy stuff. They're going to show some stuff for sure. But I think we need to see some Rise of the Beast stuff. Get excited for it because it's important. It's important in the grand scheme of things for Transformers health wise. It's important that we talk about it and learn more and create excitement and interest for people because we missed an opportunity in summer. So we'll see. Um, Mikey wants to know, plus a huge Beast Wars Silverbolt. Oh, you're a huge Beast Wars Silverbolt fan. I'm missing a Transtech Silverbolt I'll never have. Who knows? Who knows? Unless you could get someone to 3D print one. That's one way to do it. Mikey also says, I would like to mention Scott Mcneil as well. Yeah, well, Scott Mcneil is one of the greatest voice actors of all time. He's definitely up there. And he's a machine, man. He's done a lot. He was probably, when I think about it, he was probably one of the very first voice actors I ever met, too, doing like the convention scenes and stuff. He was like one of the, because he would do a lot of anime conventions before I even started going to Transformer conventions, because you know, he was doing anime stuff as early as like 1994 and 93, so he was really out there. Lizard Sphere X, speaking of factory fresh figs, I like that term, saw a booth full of prototypes of old and new figures. They even had they even had a head of HasLab Unicron. Oh, that's pretty awesome. To have that all in gray over there, that big boy. Which then reminds me of the dude that had 2 complete prototype HasLab Unicrons. Well, that's if they want to roll like that, I'm fine just owning one, thank you. Already takes enough space in my house, let alone the box. We have a gold super chat from Wayne the Game Gladiator. It sounds like you have a cool YouTube channel, Wayne the Game Gladiator. Thank you for the gold super chat, Wayne. Hey, Proto, for 2024, do you think the next line will be based around the 40th anniversary? Hasbro almost should have saved the name Legacy for 40th on what the 40th will be. I worked on Barbie. Oh, you worked on Barbie, did you, Wayne? Well, that's pretty cool. That means you worked for Mattel. Or you're referring to you worked on Barbie for Mainframe. Excuse me. As to answer your first question, they're gonna probably look when the 30th anniversary happened. Aaron Archer could attest for this because he was knee deep in that. They did the Thrilling 30, 30 iconic Transformer toys related to all the different years of product. That's how we ended up with a Beast Machines Tankor, and we got like all kinds of great figures. So they did a huge thing, and part of that Thrilling 30 was the introduction of our Titan class. We got Metroplex was part of that Thrilling 30. So they're going to do something big. 40, when you have those round numbers, when you got like those big round numbers, like, to 35 is fine, but 40, oh, now it says a 0 at the end. Like when they did the 20th anniversary, look, what did we get for 20th anniversary? The beginning of Masterpiece. 20th anniversary saw 20th anniversary Optimus Prime, MPO1, Masterpiece was born. 30th anniversary, Metroplex, the Titan class was born. 40th anniversary, who knows? But let me tell you something. Better be good because that 20th and the 20th and the 10th, excuse me, the 20th and the 30th were big things. 10th anniversary, unfortunately, we didn't have any. The 10th anniversary, unfortunately, we didn't do. That was 1994. We were knee deep in the middle of Generation 2, and Generation 2 was not selling well, and it was getting its butt kicked by Power Rangers on the shelving. So the 10th anniversary was not a celebration, but 20th and 30th definitely were, and 40th, for sure, they got to do something. For sure, they got to do something. Sarah also says why we have some figures in Legacy that are point for point the same model of the original, like Legacy Megatron. that they use the original 3D model, and we have others that are reimaginations like Prime. Well, that's what I was just talking about. Like it's kind of funny how, you have certain characters like the Beast Wars ones that are slavishly loyal. I don't have any here right now on the desk. I mean, this isn't a legacy one, but that's Kingdom. But it's just, yeah, I totally understand what you mean. I asked the same question. It's like, how come, Tarantulas? Look at the Tarantulas one. You could even argue, oh, they had to do little tweaks and twists with the Inferno to make it work for the price point. But that Tarantulas, goodness, like that ain't a G1ified Tarantulas. That is season one Tarantulas. And it looks amazing. So that's a question for Mark Mayer. Maybe they were worried that the beast stuff could get away with it because it's animals, and so it could be more unique looking. Where Transformers Prime and G1 and Armada and those, they're more vehicles, and they want to have a kind of I guess standard for all the vehicles. But then look at the Armada Starscream. The Armada Starscream looks like Armada Starscream. They didn't reinterpret that one. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of deal with the designs uh license wise, and they can't use RC. Maybe they look at the Prime toys and they say, you know what, those toys were really good to begin with. Why should we retread water again and make an RC toy again that doesn't need to, when we have the RED that'll be the animation model? Who knows? Then you're kind of, going in a competition against yourself, because why would you buy the RED one when you have a really good, let's say, legacy one that does the same thing? Who knows? It's a very good question though, but it's a question that should probably be aimed at Mark Mayer or Evan, or even Lenny. That's something from a design standpoint that I'm really curious myself, where some are not like that. It's very interesting. Wish I had that answer for you. Princeton Phalanx 59 wants to know. Oh, and by the way, again, thank you for the Wayne, for the gold super chat. Thank you. Princeton Phalanx 59 wants to know, hey Proto, what do you think the next crossover will be? Well, there's this rumor that we were supposed to get a crossover Amazon truck. That never surfaced. That was a weird one. It was Amazon Optimus. That was a leader class, and everyone was just assuming they were gonna retool leader class Optimus Prime, or they were gonna take the laser Optimus and maybe make that an Amazon truck. Who knows? But that was supposed to be one of the future crossovers. Me personally, what I would like to see that's realistic, like there's like, oh, Proto Man would want Power Rangers, or Proto Man would want, Mega Man, or continue more Street Fighter ones. The most realistic one I could think they could do outside of Power Rangers would be Knight Rider. Knight Rider that's a really easy one, man. You just take that Sideswipe mold again, retool it, you got Kit, and that'll sell like gangbusters. If you could do a Knight Rider Playmobil, and that sells very well, and then they did the Knight Rider, little figures and stuff, and they did the Knight Rider Funko Pop, and that sold well. There clearly is a nostalgia for David Hasselhoff and Knight Rider, and if they did a Transformers one and it has a little David Hasselhoff head on it, or a little David Hasselhoff figure, one or the other, have a transforming kit, and then you could get, whatever the future company will be that'll do the comics, probably Boom Studios or Image was the rumor. Um, have them do a crossover book, Knight Rider Transformers. There could be a lot of fun that could be done there. Have a little LED with the little light in the front. Obviously that would be out of the deluxe class price point, and that'd be kind of hard to like fit that in there and tool that in on something, but still would be cool. Be very cool. Let's see what's next. Mikey, I think I'm thinking Knight Rider crossover. There you go. There you go. I think that, number one, I've said this before, that I wanted to be Knight Rider when they were Knight Rider opportunities for anniversaries. And I believe, when did Knight Rider came out? 82, or was it 83, 82, 83? So I mean, those anniversary celebrations could potentially happen. but we'll see. We'll see. That's the one I would like. If you're not going to go Power Rangers, which would be in brand, in house, which they don't need to right now. I don't think they should be mixing it up. And Power Rangers right now is doing all these other crossovers. They're doing a Street Fighter one. They just came off of a Ninja Turtle one. I don't think they need to do more of that right now. Um, I think they just need to focus on being Power Rangers and doing well. Um, but I could see Knight Rider. That's a nice, fun one and done. Where a Power Ranger thing should be like a big line, multiple releases. I mean, we've had multiple different Ghostbuster Transformer crossovers. We had the Masterpiece, we had the two different releases from Ectotron, and we technically had I don't want to count the My Little Pony one there because they did a Ghostbuster My Little Pony and there was also a Transformer My Little Pony, and those are all supposed to be in the same universe, I guess. Michael Koo says Apple has the Speed Racer license, at least for the live action. I love that original live action Speed Racer movie. I don't care what anyone says. I hope we get more speed. I mean, the best thing to come out of that Speed Racer movie also was all that influx of Speed Racer merchandise that we never got for years. So I'm down for that. Prince of Phalanx 59, I think Airwolf would be good too. Airwolf is in the video game? Is that what we're talking about? um, Mikey says, talking to Wayne, I love the idea. What did Wayne say? I missed it. I missed it. Oh, maybe which mold to use. Well, yeah, again, it could be Trax, it could be Sunstreaker, any car that you could kind of just build a good shell on top of and do something. Michael Koo, Playmobil might have the Knight Rider license since they put out their own Knight Rider. Yeah, that Knight Rider kit, I would love to own that. The Playmobil one. It's really cool because it also comes with like the figures, comes with the side characters, it comes with a little repair station. Really cool. I really like that one, but it's ridiculously expensive. I love Knight Rider. As a kid, I have a lot of fond memories of that growing up. And in my garage, no joke, guys, in my garage, I have in a huge, huge, huge pedal car Knight Rider kit from my childhood. Well, it's not the one from my childhood. I had to retrack it down, but that's a whole other story for another time, for another cute photo shoot that I'll show you guys one day. Um, Sarah says, "What other beasts can we expect? A new Tiger Hawk or a reissue of a Titan's Return Optimal Optimus with some remolds like the '86 RC?" Well, you know, from what it looks like with the reissue Beast Wars line, they're still sticking within that 95, 97 bubble just before Transmetals in 98. So I'm pretty sure they're probably look, they could revisit Inferno and reissue him, do him in non-clear plastic, make him an opaque, kind of thick, solid red plastic, reissue him. There's so many of those show characters that didn't get reissues. So I'm pretty look, they could do Rhinox again. They could do Air Razor again. So, look, we're probably not going to get an Air Razor figure for a while until we get to, let's say, Rise of the Beast product. So that's a good place to drop a trademark in the future, maybe 2 years. So I'm sure they're going to look at what trademarks they have, where they could place them. Look, if they don't do a Prowl figure there's no Prowls in the movie. There's no Prowls in Earthspark. There's going to be no Prowls, let's say, in Legacy or whatever. There's literally 3 different Prowls you can make out of Beast Wars and reissue those products. Probably they could do Magnaboss. That'd be a really nice big box set. Get rid of the GPS. That would be a life-saving thing too. But yeah. Oh, Airwolf the '80s show. Excuse me, Princeton. I'm sorry because I know there was an Airwolf video game too. I'm in my Nintendo brain. But yeah, no, I could see it. I could see like Tiger Hawk is you're kind of jumping over. You're going a little ahead of yourself with Transmetal 2s and those kind of those designs of late Beast Wars. I think Tiger Hawk and guys like Depth Charge will come later, much later. I'm thinking more. We're going to see more 95 to 97 toys, and like I said, go watch the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, and you'll probably figure out what we're going to do with the transmetals when we have to get to those at some point. At some point. Mikey says, I know we'll probably never see it, but I would like to see Star Trek Enterprise Fortress Maximus crossover. Never say never. Hasbro did have the Star Trek license at one point, probably because of that relationship that they have with Paramount and everything too. I don't know. I don't know. Star Trek toys are just not. They don't sell well, not in retail. The original Playmates ones sold well initially and then clogged the shelves brutally. And then when Hasbro took their shot up at bat, they did not sell well. And then they kind of stopped. So I do not know. I do not know where they would go with that. But yeah, I mean, Fortress Maximus, that means it would have to be huge. Actually, speaking of a huge Star Trek item, the Playmobil did a huge Star Trek Enterprise that's like this big. It's absolutely huge, and it works with a smartphone. You can open it up, and then you have access. There's a YouTube video out there. You can go leave my video if you want right now if you don't want to watch the live stream, and go watch it. There's this crazy Playmobil Star Trek thing that's out there. Very weird. Sarah, again, what do you think of the Playmobil Enterprise? There you go. Someone just asked about it. I expect to be a millionaire to afford it. Yeah, that thing is huge. I saw it. Like it works with like you have like an app that you put, and then you could control it with your iPhone, and it has like literally you open up the saucer. And I'm not a big Star Trek guy. I have to say that right now. At most, I like a little bit of Star Trek Next Generation, and that's it. I'm not a big Star Trek guy, even though William Shatner was born here. Which maybe might be a negative to some people. But the point is that, but it's just to me that thing is insane. Like I appreciate what Playmobil did there. That's really cool. Like as a toy fan, to see a big item like that to be put in the market, that's a cool thing. That is really really cool. And it has like iPhone access where you could do stuff on your iPhone and it affects stuff on the ship. It's really really cool. What else did you say here? And I say some new models like Dragon Megatron. We need a new Tigerhawk. Oh, you mean like if there was like a new Tigerhawk like done for Legacy? Yeah, it's possible. I could see them. I think what they would want to do. This is just me judging by from what they're doing right now. I think that they're just trying to find the right place for the right thing. Tigerhawk is something that would work in a leader class. So it's just them going like, hey, here's our 2024 lineup. We have our whatever the line will be called at the time, Legacy 3.0, and we have 6 slots for leader classes. Maybe one of those slots will be a refresh, product from a previous year put in. So we got 5 slots. And maybe the name Tigerhawk will come up. Who knows? Who knows? We got a super chat from Timmy K. Poindexter Jr. Esquire. You should put the third at the end of it. Esquire the third. Anyone asked about Protoman's breakfast plans for tomorrow? Any delicious Labor Day food plans? Guys, I was planning originally today to go. I was going to take like a trip. I was actually going to go to Ottawa, which is like an hour and a half away from here, just to go shopping, just a change of scenery. The Big V just kept me in Montreal, and I think the only vacation I had was TFCon Toronto, which is like 6 hours from here. I would have loved to go to BotCon. Trust me, guys, I wanted to go to BotCon, but the border nuttiness would have not allowed that. Although they're starting to change the rules, so who knows? Maybe in the future. Maybe. Definitely not TFCon Chicago, but they're starting to talk about stuff. So maybe the TFCon after Chicago or the next BotCon. We'll see what happens. We'll see. But any delicious Labor Day food plans? Well, I can tell you what I bought grocery shopping. I bought bacon because I'm Canadian. I bought bacon. I bought croissants because I'm French also. So you got to have croissants. Uh, I bought, what else did I buy? Bought a whole bunch of stuff. I bought a lot of, my breakfast plans. I'm probably going to have, I call it the Elvis special, which I learned from my father. You you toast 2 pieces of bread, you put crunchy peanut butter, and then you slice some ripe bananas and you just have it like that. Elvis, what he used to do is he would take all of that and then he'd deep fry it and then he'd eat it. And that's why Elvis looked like he did in his final years. We don't deep fry it though, but it's really good. And I used to have that as a kid. I sometimes have that for breakfast. It's not good potassium, protein. You get some fiber all in one shot for breakfast. Have that with some blueberries. Get your folate, get your vitamin C, get your antioxidant, you know, nice good breakfast. I love breakfast. I'm a big breakfast guy. I remember I actually had breakfast with Derek J. Wyatt once, and I remember we went to some breakfast place at Bakan, and I remember the plate hit the table, and the guy who brought the plate, uh, such a stupid story. He realized he didn't bring my toast. It's like 2 eggs, bacon, whatever. He didn't bring my toast, so he went to go get my toast, and then I just ate my eggs in 5 seconds. When he came back, he was just like stone face. He's like, "Oh wow, that was fast." And then Derek Wyatt, we were talking, and then he looked down and he saw my plate was empty, and he's like, "Did you order food?" I'm a very fast eater, and I love breakfast. Breakfast, sausage, bacon, hash browns, turn scrambled sunny side. I don't care. Eggs. Love that. Love that. In Quebec, we have something called cabane à sucre, which is because in Quebec, breakfast is a big deal. Bacon, maple syrup, pancakes. So there's all these big breakfast places, all you could eat breakfast places all over Quebec. And they're so effing good. They are so good. They are so unhealthy. They are ridiculously unhealthy, but they are so good. I love breakfast. But what's my breakfast going to be tomorrow? Probably croissants, some bacon, cereal maybe. I have cereal sometimes so I could get some vitamin D and calcium from the milk. I like to focus on good nutrition and diet. Got to live as long as possible to enjoy this crazy world. But yeah, hope that kind of answers that a little bit. Went deep into it. As for supper, because I get a feeling it's going to come up at some point, and I don't know if JR Mina is in the chat from the Philippines, but he likes to ask that. Supper tonight, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything planned. I wanted to actually have butter chicken. Like I was thinking of, oh, there's JR Mina. There he is. There he is. What's up, JR? What's up, brother? I want to have I have butter chicken, Indian butter chicken. What I do is I have a Japanese rice cooker, so I'll make rice, and then I'll have butter chicken with real chicken, like chicken breast cut up with butter chicken flavoring, and then I just put that all over the rice, and then I just eat that, and it's so good. It's tons of sodium, but it's so good, so good, so good. See, people are like, "Oh, I should go to Quebec, guys," and I promise you this. I always say this when the big V is over, anyone who comes to my area, just let me know. I'll show you around. One guy contacted me through Instagram and he was like, "Hey, can we hang out?" And I said, "Bro, if it wasn't the big V, I'd go hang out. I'd take you to downtown Montreal. We'd go to Chinatown. We'd go see live wrestling, all the cool stuff. Have a real poutine, a real Montreal poutine, the real deal." Trust me, when the world's back to normal in some shape or form and we can actually go around and have a good time and not have to be stressing about all kinds of stupid stuff. Oh, here's a new variant. Ah, it's the end of the world again. You know, when we could do that, I'm down. I'm down like Chinatown. Gonna and Timmy's gonna make Japanese curry. I effing love Japanese curry. It is so filling. You make Japanese curry like a vat of it, you eat for like a week. You eat for a week. You get some you get some beef fondue cubes. You get some potatoes. You get some carrots. You get the mix, which I use golden curry. That's my brand. Mix it up, and then you eat for a week. So good. I didn't realize, and I was a late discoverer of Japanese curry. I only had it maybe discovered it in the last like 7 to 10 years of my life. Um, Never tried it before, and it was so good. I used to watch in anime. I'd always see them eating Japanese curry, and I was always like, "What's the deal with that?" It's good stuff. Michael Koo, Hasbro should do a Rise of the Beast screening in Quebec. They did a special screening for the Bumblebee movie in Quebec, and I was at it. Me and Jaws D. If you actually go listen in the past of the podcast, we did a review for for the Bumblebee movie, and we went to a special advanced screening and everything. And it was funny with that advanced screening was they gave every audience member a Bumblebee movie tiny turbo changer, like a random one. So that was funny too. So chances are, look, Montreal is one of the biggest cities in Canada. It's the New York of Canada. That's what I always say. You have Toronto, you have Montreal, and maybe Vancouver. That's about it. Like there, everywhere else in Montreal is B tier. No offense, guys, but it's B tier. So Montreal for sure they'll do some kind of event or something, and I'll definitely be on that list for sure. Just like last year, for sure, for sure, 100%. I don't want to sound cocky, but I was at the advanced screening for Revenge of the Fallen. They gave me like 10 free tickets to go see it. The Dark of the Moon one, oh my God. Hasbro sent so they sent tickets for Dark of the Moon for me, Jay Alvatron, a whole bunch of local Montreal fans. We assumed they sent us 5 tickets. Hasbro contacted us. This was Hasbro Canada. They contacted us and they said, go to the box office. We have our big, downtown theater. They're like, go to the box office and just say your name and the tickets will be there for you. And we're like, okay. So me, Goober came with us too. Me, Goober, Jay Alvatron, I'm trying to remember if anyone else came with us. But anyway, so we went to the box office and we're like, yeah, we're here to pick up tickets for Daniel Arsenault, Proto Man. And they're like, yeah, here you go. They gave us a fat stack of 20 tickets. And we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this? So we're like, we came like half an hour before the movie was supposed to start. So we're freaking out. We're like, oh my God. Like, so we started calling friends and we're just like, hey, could you come down? Like, we have all these extra tickets. And everyone's like, oh my God, I can't get there to downtown Montreal in half an hour. So we started giving away the tickets to people. Because, you have some people, they come to the box office and they just look at the marquees to decide what movies to see. And so I'd go up to people and I'd be like, hey, looks like you're looking for to decide what movie to see. How about do you want to see an advanced screening of the brand new Michael Bay movie? So I was just giving away the tickets. And there's some photos on Facebook from that day. It was a crazy day. Same thing. Age of Extinction, we went to see advanced screening. The last night we didn't get an advanced screening. I don't know why, for whatever reason. Maybe because they just weren't excited about it, so they weren't sending out tickets. But Bumblebee movie, we saw an advanced screening. So for sure, hopefully with Rise of the Beast, this is important. It's very important. And we saw the Transformers the movie 1986, the special what was it called there? Something event. The company that was doing that, they were there too, and we saw the live action screening of that, and they were handing out those exclusive posters for the '86 movie. Went to see that one also. That was really cool. I wore my '86 movie jacket and everything. Princess Phalanx, I love breakfast, scrambled eggs platter, shredded potatoes with scrambled eggs, sausage, and cheese on top. Bro, you're making me starving. How much time we got left? We got 20 minutes left. I love it. Sarah says, "Why before Kingdom we just have to drop the beasts like the 10th Megatron, a Megatron, Optimus in 2.0, horrible Cheetor, Dinobot, Rhinox, Waspinator in 30th. Why they never had proper remolds before before the full cast? Budget planning, doing other stuff at the exact same time. If you don't like the Cheetor, they'll do another one later that'll be better. It's you have to pace things. The one thing that people need to understand is you can't give everyone everything right away. Hasbro has to have like a 5-year plan, if not a 10-year plan. Especially when you have a lead designer, he probably has a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan at least. They got to pace it out, Like it's something where imagine when Siege was being made. Would you have even thought that they were thinking of like Beast Wars with Kingdom at the time? They have to have a plan in the long run. You can't just give everything right away. You got to keep these people buying Transformers for the next 10 years of their lives minimum. It's a reality. Rodimus Power posting a bunch of our of our super chat and YouTube member icons. So is Michael Koo. He's posting them all. Hopefully we could get some more. I want to install some more of them for you people. I want to put some Beast Wars ones. Joseph Ritter with the super chat. Joseph Bird with the super chat, rocking it all with also Symbiote Studio stuff. Joseph Ritter knows a little something about Symbiote Studios and their awesome plush. He wants to know which was a better investment, HasLab Star Saber or the Cobra Hiss? Still making millions off of the TF investment tips. Personally, I think that the Cobra Hiss tank is going to be the better investment. I'll tell you why. HasLab Unicron came out and made a lot of money, and then that made everyone go, and they didn't, and not a lot of people bought HasLab Unicron, and then it made people go, oh my god, I want to now make money like people made with HasLab Unicron. So every single person I know who bought Star Saber bought multiple of them, 2, 3, where everyone I know who bought Unicron bought one. Maybe the odd person got two of them, or if they got three, then you're better off than all of us. But everyone bought a second HasLab Star Saber. So what does that mean? That means that when those start hitting your doorsteps, the secondary market on them is going to be flooded. Flooded. Now, that's not to say that he won't go up in value. If you hold on to him for 5 years, 10 years, and that flooded market starts to dissipate, yeah, sure, it'll go up. But the initial profit will not be as big. And when you factor in eBay fees and shipping fees if you mess up and PayPal, 11% and all that, the Hiss tank was lightning in a bottle. It did very well, and people just know that there's no muscle memory of, oh, this past GI Joe product did really well, so this one's going to be bank. I think the Hiss tank's going to be the one that's going to have a good secondary market. When you think about it, look at all the other GI Joe stuff that people were scalping and making really good money. The Baroness and a lot of those other figures from Classified. So I'm thinking the Hiss tank's going to be the bigger investment. That's just my personal take. Too many people are going to. I'm telling you, there's going to be so many Star Sabers, which is good news for people who, if you didn't get Victory Saber, Star Saber, Victory Leo from HasLab, good news. There's going to be plenty of them on eBay. Plenty of them. I'm pretty sure Big Bad Toy Store is going to have like a fucking pallet of them. And I swore, but I'm serious. There's going to be a pallet of those for sure. I'm telling you. I'm telling you guys. There's going to be so many. Karik Clint Gaming. Kiarik Click Gaming. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Proto, did you hear about the recently uncovered Transformers G1 movie first draft? Guys, I don't want to talk about that because a lot of that stuff is made up. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of it is assumptions based, like, it's not the first time TF Nation has done something like this. They did that with the season 4 animated stuff too. It's an interpretation of what potentially would have been a first draft using early Flero Deary art, early Flero Deary art mixed with early drafts of limited knowledge of Ron Freeman's stuff and early treatments of it, mixed all together, put together and spat out of an assumption. Take it all with a grain of salt. The design, look, the colors of that Ultra Magnus are based off of Flero Deary art that never had colors. So it's just an assumption that it's going to have those powered Commander colors on them. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not legit. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to knock the people who are behind it, but it's. I look at it and I just go, and that's why I didn't report it. I was just like, okay. I talk with Ron Freeman quite a bit. I threw a lot of money to that man to buy some animation cells from his garage. A lot of that stuff doesn't exist anymore. It's vague memories of what was a first draft that was rejected. That's all I'm gonna say. Mikey says, HasLab Unicron, where do we begin? Yeah, you guys had an extra one, didn't you? Goodness, like very few people got extras of the Unicron, but they saw the money that Unicron was pulling, and then it's the Beanie Baby syndrome, where it's like the money that was made was already made, you know? So when people saw the success of Unicron, they thought that they could repeat that success with HasLab Victory Saber. But the problem is The problem is that everyone thought like that. Not me. I'm just getting 1 cent for free from HasLab, and that's it. I'm getting a sample, so I'm not getting a second one. I just have the one. I hope I get the box with it. That's the one thing. The box looks really cool because if they send a sample, sometimes they send you just a boring brown box instead. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I think that his tank's going to be the bigger money maker. Joseph Ritter says, "What would it take for D&D for a D&D movie to outperform Rise of the Beast?" I don't think that D&D movie is going to outperform Rise of the Beast. Do you think it will perform better than Snake Eyes? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. The last time they did a D&D movie, it did terrible. Granted, it was a comedy adventure. So I don't think people would really want to refer to that old D&D movie. Um, I think it'll do just as well as Snake Eyes. Um, Snake Eyes probably won't have the same budget as the D&D movie. I'm going to assume that the hardcore D&D people will go out to see it, just like the hardcore Snake Eyes GI Joe people. But will the bulk of the casual audience go see it? I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a really tough one to say. Tabletop gamers are hardcore and they're passionate and they spend a lot of money, and that's how they keep that market alive. But the casual audience engaging with it, I don't know, man. History says no. And that's, I use the past to predict the future. I don't know, man. I'd like to be wrong, and for Wizards' hope and Hasbro's hope, I'm pretty sure they'd like for it to be successful so that they could have another brand that they could sit on and make money from. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's going to I think it's going to have Snake Eyes' success. And Snake Eyes lost $100 million. And we're not even talking about the bath that Hasbro took on the toys. That's a whole other story. We're just talking movie investments with advertising and budget. I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one to really. Anyways, Sierra, now talking about Macross, I love the recent relove of the 30th Blitzwing that I consider the best figure today. What does it have to do with Macross? But anyways, especially since his plane mode is a Valkyrie. Oh, because the plane mode kind of looks like a Valkyrie a little bit. I don't know if Blitzwing I would say is a Valkyrie. He's just kind of like a whatever jet that was. I'm not a big aviation expert. I only know a little bit, just related to Transformers and memorizing those designs. But the 30th one was more, like you mentioned, more of an animated homage with the head swapping thing. That's one of the few modern animated toys we ever got, technically. 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 I just want to make sure I don't miss any other questions here. Mikey says, "Yup, we wanted to display him in both robot and planet mode. So we got two, but the secondary market value, woo! This is why the upgrade kit was made and needed." Yeah. Well, Mikey and Louie have those awesome upgrade kits. Just Google that. Go on, I think it's TFW 2005. In the third party section, you could get some free upgrade kits for your Unicron from Binth Studios. Go check that out. I'll probably do a separate segment about it at some point. Aaron Archer says it'll do better than Snake Eyes. Well, Aaron, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I really do. Michael Koo says the D&D movie has Chris Pine. That alone is why the D&D movie will do better than Snake Eyes. The other G.I. Joe movie had The Rock, and it didn't do well. If you have The Rock and you don't do well, yeah, if you have Chris Pine, hey, that's great. But people don't want to go see it, you know? People don't want to go see it, man, you know? Michael Koo, the Snake Eyes movie broke the character by showing his face. Snake Eyes is never supposed to show his face. You know what? Well, but here's the thing, though, right? Two things when people talk about why movies don't do well. Number one, they say that the movie wasn't good. Yeah, I agree with you there. Sometimes a movie not being good and the word of mouth is why it doesn't do well. But if it doesn't do well in the first week, when no one knows if the movie is good, that with day one sales are bad, then that means no one was interested and no one cares. And the average GI Joe fan doesn't know Snake Eyes' origin. Like the casual kind of people. Oh yeah, I remember GI Joe as a kid. I really liked that guy with the screechy voice who hid his face. What was his name? Starscream. Like the casual people are unfortunately what you need. I remember standing in line for the not Rise of the Beast, for the Transformer 2007 movie. It was like my third viewing of it. And people in line with me for the third viewing. It might have been like 4 days after it came out. That's how crazy it was. And I remember two guys talking behind me going like, "Oh man, like my favorite character Skyscraper is in this movie." And I was just going like and hear my brain going like did I miss like an obscure Japanese character that was in the background or something? He meant Starscream. But, and the dog bot, and sound tape. There's you need those casual people. They're the ones that move the movie tickets, that make the sales. Um Wizard Sphere X, speaking of mediocre movies, I haven't seen Lightyear's toys move much at all at local stores. Lightyear toys are clogging the shelves. Yes, they are like crazy. I think that is the first time I've ever seen a Toy Story related movie not sell toys. But I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know if it's any good. I probably won't see it in a while. I'm not really interested. Let's put it this way. Not really my vibe. Um, I like the first few Toy Story movies, and even then, I wasn't. I saw the first one in theaters. I saw the second and third one years later on VHS and DVD. No rush. No rush. One day it'll be on TV, and then I'll watch it. Mikey was excited for the Snake Eyes as our favorite GI Joe character. It wasn't okay. It was okay. Sadly, wish it was better. So again, hardcore GI Joe fans went to see it, but the casuals didn't. Mikey then went on to say, "Hey Proto, do you think we are going to be getting more GI Joe TF crossover figures? If so, what do you think the next will be? Probably something. They're going to have to stick with core characters from the Transformer side. So we had Megatron, we had Bumblebee. So an Optimus would be too way out of scale if they did like the what's it called there? The Missile Command Center. Jeez, what is it called there? Oh my God, forget the name. That green command with the two missiles. They did fan art of it. The Rolling Thunder. There you go. Rolling Thunder. I don't think they'll do an Optimus. Maybe they'll do like a Starscream. Do a Starscream with a Cobra Commander. Starscream, Cobra Commander.
Must be
Double Chris Latta set.
No matter the cost.
That should be the next one. We have a super chat from Trevor Stasic for 5 bones. Thank you, Trevor, for the super chat and all the love and support. A few months ago, there was a rumored live-action Transformers TV series for Paramount Plus. You think that was likely canceled or on hold now? Thanks, Proto. Oh, Paramount right now is rethinking a lot of their things with Hasbro. I'm pretty sure that thing was canceled a while back. A while back. They're probably gonna like next stop on the train of let's see if Transformers is still viable for Paramount Plus is going to be EarthSpark's success and views and eyeballs. They're going to look at the analytics of that and then make decisions based on that. And then, of course, after November, which is after EarthSpark, is then all full steam on the Paramount Rise of the Beast train and hoping that does well. Michael Koo, Snake Eyes, being remembered as Starscream. There you go. That's the confusion. Michael Koo live action TV series, man, that'd be cool. I don't know. I don't think they'd have the budget for it. I think it would be very human centric. It would be a TV series, and it would be very human centric. And the robot interaction, character development, everything will be very limited. And I am tired of live action movies that are just all about the human story. People always say, yeah, but the human story is important. Yes, it is to a degree, but when it's King Arthur and his knights, and it's really just about getting the sword and the stone, and there's just a Transformer story glazed over that, and those characters aren't really important, and there's no character development. It's just once in a while Hot Rod will get a line once in a while. Like the only character that had any character development or characterization was Cogman, and that's because Cogman was the same size as the humans and he could interact in all those scenes properly. But if you were a 12-foot tall robot that was going to just be dressing in the background, that's all you're going to be. Um, Sarah says, talking about Beast Wars, we in Mexico. Ah, you're from Mexico. Good to know. We in Mexico love the freaking Beast Transformers in all the public markets. We found until today a lot of the Beast Wars normal, Transmetal, and Transmetal 2 Neos. Oh, that's good to know that Beast Wars is loved in Mexico. That's cool. Is there any like exclusive Beast Wars packaging in Mexico? I know it was called Annie Betre or whatever en français in French. I wonder what they called it in Mexico. We got a YouTube member question from Believe in Bumper. Thank you, Believe in Bumper, for being a chosen one of Primus member, which is the top of the tier. Believe in Bumper. Thank you for all the love of support and love and support. They keep trying to make G.I. Joe work, but I don't think it will. They don't have that legendary 7 for non fans to vaguely recognize. Well, the problem is number one, and I've said this for years, is that GI Joe was ridiculously successful comic book wise, toy wise, and cartoon wise in the United States. Unrivaled. You could go back, look at Marvel's comic book sales back in the 80s. GI Joe was killing it above even X-Men and Spider-Man. Super popular. But the rest of the world, take it from me, growing up in the 80s, Canadian. Yeah, you had kids that loved G.I. Joe. I had some G.I. Joe toys. My first G.I. Joe toy was Bazooka, you know? Um, it's out there. It was in the consciousness. Kids watched it, but it just wasn't this big line that took over the pop culture stratosphere in Canada. Transformers did, Power Rangers did later, Pokemon, X-Men, like each one of those stood on top of the mound and was like, I'm the number one thing with the kids brands. G.I. Joe was never that in Canada. And I can't speak for other countries, but I'm pretty sure the UK, Japan, other ones, the same thing exists. So you're really just really sitting on the shoulders of G.I. Joe's success in America and those who remember it. The second problem is, and this is another problem too, G.I. Joe didn't have a 90s renaissance like Transformers did, like a lot of other brands did. G.I. Joe had G.I. Joe Extreme. It wasn't successful. And then there was all these collector-based lines. G.I. Joe survived because Street Fighter was part of it during the 90s. Street Fighter's first toys were G.I. Joe toys. G.I. Joe survived because Mortal Kombat toys were part of their build, design and everything like that when they made Mortal Kombat toys off of O-ring G.I. Joe figures. G.I. Joe survived through the 90s through other brands. G.I. Joe was used to save trademarks for Hasbro, like keeping Devastator by putting it on a Snowcat mold. G.I. Joe was used for those things, but it didn't have a renaissance in the 90s. So kids that grew up in the 90s don't have vague nostalgia of G.I. Joe like kids of the 90s have vague nostalgia of Transformers. G.I. Joe didn't have a nostalgia in the 2000s, didn't have a renaissance in the 2000s. They tried with G.I. Joe versus Cobra, the direct-to-DVD movie. They tried with G.I. Joe, whatever it was called there, that Sigma 6, the anime, which got canceled because it didn't do well on Fox. No one has memories of that. If you were a 2000s kid, you were obsessed with Pokemon. You were obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh! You were obsessed with Beyblade. You didn't care about G.I. Joe. And especially if you were, it's all... Josh Perez is here. What's up, Josh? Josh in the house. But those are things that hurt GI Joe as an ongoing brand that Transformers had. Transformers had that. And even, something like, let's say, Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was a movie that was ridiculously successful, and it could ride out making cultural products of that movie ongoing. I remember in the 90s, there was Ghostbusters movie-related product. In the 2000s, what was that company that did the Muppets figures? They also did Ghostbuster figures. Mini Mates was making Ghostbuster stuff. Like they were always making sure Ghostbusters was out there in pop culture and making sure no one forgets it. Josh Perez, for a moment, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat existed in the G.I. Joe universe together. Yeah, that's technically true. Go watch those commercials. Yeah, Bison going, and Cobra has Street Fighters too. And some very broken English, E Honda. Terrible. But yeah, that's G.I. Joe has a lot of stuff it has to get over. And if you could do a movie with The Rock and no one cares, if you could put out a Snake Eyes movie that isn't now military based and no one cares, but yet people are still buying, the older demos and the hardcore collectors are still buying the classified figures. Maybe it's something that's kind of like He-Man that also kind of has the same problem a little bit, where maybe it's just kind of surviving on the hardcore fans and that's it. He-Man survived through Matty Collectible and He-Man Classics with no TV series, no nothing. Yeah, they did a He-Man 2K series. Toy Line did terrible, got canceled. Great TV series. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic TV series, but didn't do well. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going to stop the podcast until I answer the rest of the super chat questions. I know we're over 2 hours. Went on a G.I. Joe rant. I love G.I. Joe, by the way. Dusty's my favorite character. I love G.I. Joe. It's a great series. Growing up, I had fond memories of it because shout out to my childhood friend Mikey. He was the G.I. Joe kid. He had tons of G.I. Joe toys. And when we went to his house, we played with G.I. Joes and Micro Machines. And he made me love G.I. Joe because I had no G.I. Joe toys until meeting Mikey. And then I got Bazooka. And then I got Dusty. And then I got Snake Eyes. And then I got a butt ton of Street Fighter G.I. Joes because I love Street Fighter. I got the Bison and his Crimson Cruiser and Chun-Li with I forget what it was called, the Beast Blaster tank with Champion Edition Chun-Li and Blanka. My sister had the Chun-Li figure, the kick action one, which was a retool of Scarlet. Good times, good times. I'm going to answer these last couple of questions, guys, and then we will call it quits. So Sarah says in Mexico and in all of Latin America, the same guy that voiced Dinobot was the same guy who, missing all the questions here, that did the voice for Darth Vader in Mexico. Interesting. We got a James Earl Jones that would have done Beast Wars Dinobot instead of imagine Scott Mcneil as Darth Vader. Ooh, that's a weird one. Imagine that. Michael Kusa, G.I. Joe Resolute came out 20 years too late. Seriously. Michael Koo also says, Proto, thank you for the great live stream. And then Michael Koo it says something to Aaron. All right, guys, we are done for the night. Went over a little bit. Thank you all for coming. We topped out at about 150 people, I believe it was, 155. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Thanks, everyone who popped in, our Hasbro people, Aaron Archer, YouTube members, Patreon people. Thank you, everyone, for coming for, again, yet another Transformer Slag podcast Saturday night live stream. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're going to go out and buy yourself a cool beast figure like me. It's the simple things in life that make you happy, and that's all that matters. Once again, if you want to help support the podcast and help us keep going, Patreon is down there, the Patreon link. Come join us on Patreon. Come join us on the Discord and all the cool stuff related to the Discord. Take care of yourself, everybody. Thanks for all the love and support and all the super chats tonight. Love you all. I'm going to go relax. Tired evening. Thanks for all the sponsors, Symbiote Studios. I'm out of here. Take care. Love you all. Roll out.